Our top story, a judicial commission headed by a retired High Court judge takes 5 years to submit a report on J Jayalalitha's death. The chief villain of his piece is VK Sasikala, who is indicted by the judge for events leading up to J Jayalalitha's death. He doesn't say she is guilty. He wants the Tamil Nadu government now to probe her role. How many inquiries will it take to establish if J Jayalalitha's death was a conspiracy or not? Before I go to my guest with that question, J Jayalalitha's niece Deepa Jayakumar is joining me at the top of the show. Deepa, thank you very much for your time here on Mirror Now. Can I start by asking you what your assessment is of the probe report that was tabled in the Tamil Nadu Assembly today?
See, the conspiracy was always there, according to me. There was a conspiracy even earlier, even much earlier than 2016, that Sasikala and the family were planning to, do something intentionally to her or get rid of her or take over whatever they wanted, the party or whatever. So I think the probe needs to be conducted from that point itself, not only from the date of admission to Apollo or the things that were followed.
But J Jayalalitha and Sasikala had a relationship that spanned decades. They were extremely close. Yes, there was a falling out, but there was a patch up in later years as well. Why would they want to conspire against her and push her to her death?
The conspiracy itself surrounds all these facts that they wanted to take her place intentionally. That was the reason for the fall off between the two of them. That's what at least we were told and it was believed.
But you know, it's not just Sasikala that the judge is indicting. He's even talking about your aunt's personal doctor who had been with her for some time. He's raising questions over the way the Apollo hospital chief behaved, about the way the health secretary of the state then behaved, the then health minister behaved. Is it your serious view that it was Sasikala who was behind the death of your aunt?
That is the reason the need of the probe. That's the reason for need of the probe. Now, that is the recommendations given by the commission itself, that certain people need to be investigated further. Only then the facts will come out or the truth will come out.
But why blame Sasikala for a conspiracy given the fact that your aunt's health was pretty terrible? She had a host of health issues. She was not doing fine medically. Why not just accept that this could be a natural death?
No, it was not. She was perfectly fine and she was in good health. That point itself is not true. The point that she was not well is not true. If at all she was not well, and if she had any ailment that was so serious, it should have been out. I mean, the news or the information regarding her health would have been out much earlier. I think she was even put in prison in 2014 if there was anything so serious, or if she had any serious ailment, the news would have been out much earlier. We don't believe that she was not well or in bad health.
But what was Sasikala and her family's motive? You're directly blaming VK Sasikala for your aunt's death. What was her motive?
She might have been, she might have intentionally done certain things which needs to be probed. I can't say things which I have not seen with my own eyes. So, the probe needs to be conducted because a lot of people believe that Sasikala and her family were not really loyal or true to her. They wanted to take her place because they have proved now they are still doing it. They wanted to take her place and control the AIADMK party, which plays a very major role in even deciding the national politics. The party is so powerful that it plays a major role in national politics. They want to take control of it, which they have been very vocal about. Sasikala's husband, Natarajan, has been very vocal about it. In the year 2015, in a family function of theirs in their hometown, and my aunt had been very upset about it, and I think even put him behind bars for that.
My last question to you, Deepa, before I let you go. It's been 6 years. There have been various probes. There is another one. Is it time to let J. Jayalalitha's death rest? Just accept the fact that possibly it had happened because of ill health?
There is so much evidence out. There is so much evidence out in the media, out in the public, out with a lot of people who are very close to her. So I think the probe needs to be done. There are so many valid reasons for all these suspicions. They are not baseless or they are not without any proof.
Okay, we leave it there for the moment, Deepa. Thank you very much. Let's see what the DMK government does. The recommendation is for another probe. Mr. A. Saravanan is the DMK spokesperson. Joining us on the broadcast, Madhavan Narayan is a senior journalist. He joins us on the broadcast as well. Anurag Naidu is an author and C. Rajashekharan is a lawyer. Please help me understand, Mr. Saravanan, what do you make of this probe report first, and what does the DMK government intend to do with it? Because this probe the report has been submitted by the judge after 5 years. This judicial commission was instituted in 2017, a year after Ms. J. Jayalalitha's death. 5 years it takes to submit this report. It says, well, we are indicting Sasikala and the others for pushing J. Jayalalitha to her death or the circumstances leading to her death, but they are not declaring her guilty, and they want the Tamil Nadu government, which is your government right now, to initiate another probe. I mean, how many probes will we have? What was this commission appointed for in the first place?
See. This commission was appointed on the recommendation, on the request of the then Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. O. Pannirselvam. He said he wanted a CBI inquiry to placate him. They said we will appoint, instead of a CBI inquiry, we will appoint a commission of inquiry, and this commission of inquiry came into being at the instance of the then ADMK government. See, when Selvi J. Jayalalitha died,
correct,
immediately after some time, there were some allegations which were thrown about. Then our leader, he was the then opposition leader, he said there has to be a white paper report on that. Then again, the allegations were flying thick and fast, and there was no conclusion what happened. Nobody knew what happened inside that hospital. So our leader then demanded a CBI inquiry. It was again echoed by the then Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. O. Pannirselvam, and this commission has now given its finding. Finding in the sense, he says that there is something murky. See, again, the central point is this, Shreya, the thing is, she was the Chief Minister. What made her become breathless on the day when she was admitted to the hospital? Why she was allowed? There was no report. There was no other report. She has a record which shows that she was admitted. She was treated at the hospital for her condition. Why she was taken to the hospital at the last moment? So this is the crux. We have no answers at all. There is no record at all. What is her health condition? What made her? Yeah, Shreya?
My point is, you're saying there is no record at all. I do remember, because there were so many rumors and conjecture around her death. The doctor from London who was treating her, Dr. Richard Beale, I'm sure you remember him, held a press conference to say that there is nothing fishy about this death. The fact is that she had diabetes. She herself didn't want to go to London, and in any case, it was too late.
No. See, Shreya, this is not about the treatment that is given in the hospital at all. The question is how she was allowed to, her condition was allowed to deteriorate so bad. See, diabetes, everybody in every family has diabetes. Not everyone has faced this kind of an issue. So what made her go to the hospital? That is the first question. That is why I think the Commission of Inquiry has indicted Dr. Shivakumar, who was the personal physician, the so-called personal physician of late Selvi J. Jayalalitha. Apart from that, I think the then Tamil Nadu government did a great misservice by not sending out any bulletin. If you look at that time, if you look at the bulletins, it would be by CMO, Apollo Hospitals. CMO, Chief Medical Officer. We don't know whether he is a she or a he. whether he was or she was the doctor who treated Selvi J. Jayalalithaa, or he was the one who was giving inputs from the doctors who treated Jayalalithaa. Nothing, just CMO. This is one thing, and the Tamil Nadu government never ever committed itself on paper about the health condition. I think the commission has found fault with all of those people who were responsible. The then health minister, who was supposed to be at the helm of this entire treatment, not a single word officially. Why? See, as a chief minister, it is the bounden duty of the government. Yes.
Okay, I understand. Mr. Narayan, then help me understand this. If this commission has done such a stellar job probing the death of J. Jayalalithaa, which happened 6 years ago, and they've taken 5 years to do it, what is this report in your mind? What essentially is it saying? Okay, it has made VK Sasikala the chief villain of its piece, but it has refrained from saying that she is guilty. They just say we are indicting her for the events that led up to J. Jayalalitha's death. What does that even mean? Is this mystery ever going to get solved?
Yes, let me begin by saying two things. I'm in a literary mood today after having watched Ponniyin Selvan, so I'll draw a striking parallel between the movie and what is going on in Tamil Nadu. You know, when I was, even before Mani Ratnam had begun watching the movie, you know, Tamil writer Pudumai Puttan once famously said, the difference between literature and a mere story is that in literature, you always are reminded of real life people and incidents. So when Sasikala was making people inaccessible to Jayalalithaa, it reminded me of how Parvetarayar, the warrior general guarding the ailing Chola emperor, Sundara Chola, was preventing people from having access to the emperor. There's a dramatic similarity in which history moves in Tamil Nadu. And like the relationship between Parvetarayar and Sundara Chola is remarkably close to the relationship between Sasikala and Jayalalithaa. They were comrades in arms, but it became very, frosty at some point. Jayalalithaa issued a public statement that Sasikala has nothing to do with her political side. And yet, after the death of Jayalalithaa, Sasikala went and publicly claimed ownership of the party, and she continues to do so. Why? This is as much a mystery as the mystery of the death of Jayalalithaa. Having said that, although I can expound on the literary point, the point is that they both were together convicted of corruption, but Jayalalithaa was no more by the time the court verdict came finally. So Sasikala went to jail. Jayalalithaa might have gone to jail instead of, the afterlife had she lived. That's very important to remember for us. And so the whole thing is, the relationship is shrouded in mystery and intrigue, and therefore certainly any kind of probe and investigation is welcome. The other thing is that investigation of deaths, unnatural or seemingly unnatural deaths, is not new to India. Jain Commission set up after Indira Gandhi's death came, and Thakur Commission set up after Indira Gandhi's death, and Jain Commission set up after Rajiv Gandhi's death, were very similar to the current commission that has come out with the report today. The Jain Commission had alleged that DMK had some connection with LTTE, if I recall right. And the Thakur Commission had said the needle of suspicion pointed to R.K. Daman, who was the private secretary to Indira Gandhi. And therefore, that term needle of suspicion became part of Indian political lexicon. You just have to Google that word and you'll come up with a lot of interesting things. So politically, in terms of strange, mysterious lack of access by a non-constitutional, non-family person like Sasikala, is certainly a matter of various kinds of investigation, whether you want a literary investigation of the kind Kalki might have done in Ponniyin Selvan, whether you want a political investigation of the kind that Jain Commission did, or whether it's a criminal investigation. It's important to know that the Apollo hospital doctors were sworn to secrecy, and she was on months in bed with rumors floating that she might have been dead. We still don't know. We need to find out the facts. We need whistleblowers from Apollo Hospital to say what was done, who was done, because the hypocritical oath might cover matters related to illness, but not matters related to public interest. And But having said that, let me also say that the DMK under Stalin is obviously going to use this opportunity for political gains, because any confusion in the ranks of the AIDMK and any questioning of the legitimacy of Sasikala's claim to the chair occupied by Jayalalithaa is a matter of concern for DMK, enough that DMK loves it if EPS fights OPS. DMK would love it if Sasikala is under constraint. And therefore, beyond police and judicial investigation, nothing might come out. But the fact is that Sasikala's relationship with Jayalalithaa is something that everybody, from historians to literateurs to forensic experts to medical, what you call medical thriller writers, might be interested in. So I'm not surprised at all that the case is going on.
Okay.
And maybe we need a historic.
And given the fact that the DMK. And given the fact that the DMK may just be enjoying the confusion around Sasikala's death, you never know that they may take the recommendations of the judge seriously and actually institute another probe, another inquiry, and God knows how long that will take. Let me come to you, Mr. Rajashekharan. You're a lawyer. You're someone who I know has backed Sasikala in the past as well. Help me understand this. You know, here is a woman who cuts off J Jayalalithaa, cuts off the access to the outside world to J Jayalalithaa topmost. Secondly, when J Jayalalithaa dies, almost immediately stakes her claim to her political legacy. Therefore, when questions are raised and the needle of suspicion points to VK Sasikala, well, people may have their point. I don't know about the conspiracy theories. The conspiracy theories have been many. Was she given her diabetes drug a little too late, deliberately? Was she poisoned? What explains the 4 spots on her face, etc., etc.? But fact is that the way Sasikala has behaved in many ways leads many people across this country to believe that she may have had a hand actually in J Jayalalitha's death. I mean, the judge is saying it today, but people have been saying it in Tamil Nadu for the last 6 years now.
I pray God that let Jayalalitha's soul rest in peace. Let's allow her at least now to rest in peace. The Inquiry Commission report, which has come out with some fact findings, it may be liked by many and may be objected by many. But fact of the matter is, it has no powers but to make a report and submit it to the government, which was appointed by the government then, and today the government is DMK. Point number 1. Secondly, I am not going to say that somebody is innocent and somebody is guilty. That is not fair. But fact of the matter is, let us understand it chronologically. See, late Chief Minister J Jayalalithaa was admitted in the hospital. Maximum 3 to 4 days, she was under the control of Apollo hospitals. I'm speaking the facts. This is the truth which everybody understands better than me, because I'm not a doctor, I'm a lawyer. And after that, the Vice President of India then, Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji, had visited J Jayalalithaa. Subsequently, Richard Bailey of London, a senior doctor, had visited Jayalalithaa, and he had interacted with her, which he had spoke to the press later on, maybe in 2017, that Jayalalithaa refused to come to London for treatment. These are all in the public domain. And after that, subsequently, after 5-6 days, the AIMS team took over the full treatment of Chief Minister J Jayalalithaa. This is everywhere, and everybody understands how the treatment was done, because the AIMS doctors had frequently visited and they were stationed, and Richard Bale was consulted over phone with an Abraham of Apollo Hospital. I don't remember his full name. And all this was happening in front of everybody's eyes, and Sasikala was just an outsider sitting outside the gate. I am told, you can check with Richard Bale. Richard Bale had asked the people around there, the doctors, who is this gatekeeper? Because she was not even allowed inside, because it was an ICU, high security treatment zone. This is the harsh truth which happened for 75 days. And blaming Sasikala and saying she is responsible. I think it is a politically motivated report submitted, because the same judge who came out in 2017 or 18 and said Sasikala has nothing to do with this, and she so I'm not going to summon her. She is not involved in this whole episode of whatever Jayalalitha's death. The same judge. Now, 2022, today, the judge has given a report, submitted a report, which pinpoints Sasikala, Shivakumar, the Health Secretary, Health Minister, and a few others. And of course, the Apollo doctors. See, if you are going to character assassinate the doctor's profession, who is going to give treatment to anybody for that matter? This is very unfair. See, I am not going to bat for the Apollo institutions because they are competent to speak for themselves. They had filed an affidavit before the Honorable Supreme Court accusing the Commission, the same judge, that he is doing with a vendetta mindset.
Correct.
So all this is available in the public domain. So this report has to be thrown in the dustbin, and it has no legal or valid sanctity, because the people are intelligent to understand what is what, and it has no powers except for a civil court powers which an inquiry commission has. So going by the merits of the whole episode,
Mr.
I
Naidu,
wouldn't say
come in here.
this has to be taken seriously.
I understand
and
what
the
you're
government
saying.
can
Pratap
summon.
Reddy, the chairperson of Apollo Hospital, where J Jayalalithaa was treated, had gone to the Supreme Court and said that, look, this commission needs to stop because the judge who's heading the commission is essentially biased. So there are question marks even on the judge who has conducted this this inquiry commission, etc., etc. But Anurag Naidu, come in here. Is this nothing more than a character assassination as far as VK Sasikala is concerned? I ask you this: was she the only one taking all the decisions as far as J Jayalalitha's health is concerned? No, J Jayalalithaa had a specialist from London who was taking care of her. In fact, he was in Chennai. She had a personal physician who was taking care of her, and this personal physician had been with her for the longest time. The health minister of Tamil Nadu was involved. The health secretary was in the loop as well. And I understand that except Dr. Biel, everyone else has been indicted in this report. But again, I ask you, what's the motive? Okay, you may say that J Jayalalithaa has some motive, but the others didn't have a motive, right? Why would they let J Jayalalithaa go along with J Jayalalitha's diabolical plans, if at all she had any? That's my simple question. It simply doesn't add up for me.
Yeah, I think Shreya, I think you made a very wonderful connections to the sequence of event, and I think that is more logical, because on one side, what I personally believe is the tallest face after the death of Jayalalithaa in the space of opposition was Sasikala. And one thing that substantially proves this point is soon after the death of J Jayalalithaa in December 2016, in no time Sasikala was taken into custody for the crime or for the allegations that were made for so many years. And if she was really convicted, if she was really guilty, she should have been acted upon by the state or the central forces way back, even before Jayalalithaa was was dead, or when she passed away. That's point number one. That means everyone realizes the value of Sasikala as a face, as somebody who has been a reflection of J Jayalalithaa. But when Jayalalithaa died, as you rightly said, it is not just Sasikala. Even with an experience of seeing 3 chief ministers in close quarters of from 3 different states of South India, I can tell you, even the chief ministers with their own family by their side, when they are on the chair of the chief minister, their health, their security, everything is managed as a protocol by the chief minister's office, and they have all the health protocols, routine taken. They have all the security measures taken. So it is not that even if you want as a family member to control the diet, to control the medicination, to control the security of the chief minister, it is practically not possible. So saying that Sasikala was the only one who is influencing the lifestyle and the diet and the medicination of J Jayalalithaa would be very naive to say, because Tamil Nadu has a very strong protocol around the chief minister's office traditionally. Now, coming to this point, and my very good friend, Mr. Rajashekaran, also echoed a very good point. Politics aside, we should not bring in profession like doctors into the, into this kind of the chaotic condition and try to the judge, what the indictment, what they say about the doctor, it is absolutely wrong. I mean, doctors are the epitome of social service in India, and they take oath on their service. And I think that the last thing we should do, because what it sets in a precedent that no doctor can believe a politician tomorrow when you step out for treatment. And that's exactly the point made by the chairman and the board of Apollo when they went to the court against this commission. So, if there are some kind of allegations on the commission is reported to have given a recommendation to the government, which is from an opposition party, to probe the death of another opposition leader. And we know already the AIADM is in split. There is an OPS and EPS camp, and EPS has gained some traction. And there are news that Sasikala is not happy. There can be another attempt to corner Sasikala or to blackmail or to kind of put her under some pressure and ensure that the opposition is split in Tamil Nadu. By all means, it can be a very strong political motive benefiting the current government of the day. Who knows?
Okay. Mr. Saravanan, the allegation is against the DMK. It suits you politically to keep the pot boiling.
No. See, it was a poll promise made by the DMK party that we will unearth the truth behind the death of Selvi Jayalalithaa, and we did not do anything else. We just allowed the commission, which was appointed by the erstwhile ADMK government, to continue. What role we could have played in this? If the facts say so, if the facts are not palatable or the facts are not advantageous to ADMK, it is their own making. Who asked them not to be transparent about the health condition of the Chief Minister? We had precedents. When the late Mr. M.G. Ramachandran was there in the hospital, it was the government which was issuing the health bulletins. So there was no doubt at all amongst the people about what is happening to the Chief Minister. But who was responsible? It is the ADMK leaders and Mrs. VK Sasikala who is responsible for not letting out the correct facts. If those facts were before the public domain, these kind of allegations or these kind of, at least Selvi Jayalalithaa would have been left at peace, at least at her death, during her death. And let us not forget that all of them, all the assets, everything is in the joint name of Selvi Jayalalithaa and Mrs. VK Sasikala. Let us not forget that fact. The conviction proves that. So it is not a question of whether this is advantageous to one political party or not. This is the unvarnished truth. After an inquiry after 5 years, you were also asking why 5 long years. It is because the ADMK leaders refused to come.
The truth is under question. The truth is under question here, and I say this, Madhavan Narayan, I have exactly 20 seconds and I'll let you have the last word here. We've heard from both sides, but the truth is that I'm still not clear in my head. I was on duty that day in the studio when the death was announced. It was the 5th of December 2016. And yet there are 2 people, eyewitnesses, whistleblowers, who spoke to the press unofficially and said that J. Jayalalithaa had actually died on the 4th. So we don't even know, there is no clarity even on the date of her death. Forget anything else. My question to you is, this is becoming the biggest mystery, death mystery, I would say. I won't call it a murder mystery of the 21st century. Do you see it being solved anytime soon? Because it doesn't, as you said, suit the DMK government right now to put a lid on all the rumors that have circulated in the last 6 years.
DMK will do what it does best. Other parties have done it before, in terms of probes. But let me tell you, as journalists, Shreya, we should not be afraid of asking questions or anybody asking questions anywhere. This could make a very interesting Netflix series on if there is an industry in how John Kennedy died in the US, and Jayalalithaa is no less glamorous a person politically and even otherwise. And therefore, her death is certainly a matter of public interest. What's the harm in one more investigation? But let it be an independent one. Historians can do it, and so can retired. A judicial probe will make much more sense than a politically motivated probe or allegedly politically motivated probe. Let the facts come out. What's the worst case scenario? Another report that doesn't conclude too much? Well, let it be. No harm in that, right?
All right, we'll leave it there. I think we'll leave it at that sensible thought. Madhavan Narayan, thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Saravanan, good to have you. Anurag Naidu and C Rajashekaran, thank you very much for joining us as well. On that note, I'm slipping into a quick break on the show. There's much more coming up on the other side. Do stay with us.